Okay. So yeah. To go back to what I was saying, because I kept getting rudely interrupted by the video stopping. Um, yeah. But yeah, I have two of my events that have been approved. One event is a woman's event. I'm so excited. We are going to get dressed up. We're going to go out. We're going to get cultured. We're going to go see things that maybe, as black women even don't normally get out to see. And I mean, that sounds really like, ooh, black women don't get out. No, some women who happen to be black don't really think to go out and look at this world and go and see, oh, we need to know this, or not even need to know this, want to know it. If you're exposed to this, it might give you more ideas. It might give you a better perception about how you act, how you do things. It's just getting out there and knowing your world around you is the best form of not only self-preservation, but just finding yourself and insight about yourself. That's the best way to kind of get and connect to yourself. It's about getting out there in the world. I'm learning that. I mean, I'm learning bit by bit. You know what I'm saying? So, forgive my arm roll fat, guys. So yeah, it's just I'm definitely excited for this event. So we're gonna all get dressed up. We're kind of like a swanky little party shindig get together. So we all meet at the museum. We'll all have kind of like this gathering, and then we'll all head downtown and at this really nice restaurant and basically get together and just have an outing of us meeting and talking and just celebrating womanhood, celebrating us being mothers, celebrating us being sisters, celebrating us being god sisters, god mothers, god daughters, us celebrating being nieces, celebrating just being us. And the working woman, the single woman, the married woman, the woman who's still doing it all, the woman who is still strong enough to do what she needs to do, but also submit to who she needs to submit to. Like we are women. Like I'm so excited about that, because for me to even get to this point, like I am proud to be a woman. Like at one point, I was never proud to be, because I didn't understand like what a woman meant. Like I didn't understand. Like I was confused. Like when you don't have that woman that's steady. Let me rephrase that. Like if you don't have a steady woman role model who's willing to walk with you, you're never gonna know what a real woman conducts herself, how she acts. You can see all you want to on TV, other people around you, but if you don't have somebody who's willing to take that time and impart that information and that knowledge and stay with you and stay the course without not only betraying trust, but knowing, actually wanting to say, okay, I understand this and I'm gonna still stick with you. And that real love, like you is hard. It's hard. And, I'm gonna say that I've had my moments where I've just like I fought and I kicked my feet against the pricks. I was just like, okay, I can't keep doing that. But then I also had to understand the nature of people, because people are people, and they're going to be who they are. And you may see one thing and then you get to the root of it and it's like, do I really want to deal with that? But it's your choice. I mean, it's your choice if you want to deal with that. But that also goes into another whole thing of, do you really love this person if you can accept them for who their faults and their flaws and their shortcomings are? Like, do you really want to love? Do you really know how to love? And the fact that if you can't love somebody even at their faultiest, like how are you going to love them when really truly, are you really loving them at their best? Because you won't know how to love them at their worst. So it's really like it's a double-edged thing. So I'm learning it. I'm steady learning it.
I'm trying to get on track with just people in general. So that's my life lesson that I'm going through right now, is just learning to love people. When I didn't love myself, you know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely getting better at it. It's getting dark and I'm in some window light, so this is why I'm turning kind of like bluish gray. But yeah, I am so excited about these events. The second event is actually a poetry slam. Something I've always wanted to go to do, because it's just, I love poetry. I love hearing the spoken words. I love the logistics. I love how words overlap and have these dual meanings and triple meanings and the similes and metaphors, and it's just these things, that how the words can cut and how it can pierce and how it can actually heal it, because it makes you think and you have introspect and retrospect, and just you are learning to respect in all of that. Not only the words, but you're learning to respect yourself, because you're like, okay, wow, I didn't realize that's something I may be doing, or wow, that's this situation. Wow, I never thought of it that way. And it makes you think. I love it. So I really, the art form of words is so beautiful to me. I love it. So I'm excited about this poetry slam, and that is not just for women; it's for men, it's for anybody, honestly. And so I really don't want to. A lot of the stuff that I want to do is not really church based. I want to get out there. I want to get out there, and I want to put it in the streets, and I want to get out there so people can see. Because sometimes we just go to church, we do these church events, these church functions, and we're just having a bunch of ourselves there ministering to ourselves, when we're supposed to be ministering to these people who not only are just lost, but, and I wouldn't say lost, who don't know, or God's been trying to call them and pull them, but they don't understand it. And so we might have that missing piece to what's needed to understand the better relation for them and God, to get closer. It's just like, we need to be out there, because that was the whole ministry of Jesus. Like, he was out there preaching to the prostitutes. I was gonna say sluts, but I mean, hey, we're all sluts at some point, because if we wasn't worshiping God, we was doing something with something else, and that's idolatry. That's adultery, basically. Anyway, neither here or there. But prostitutes, liars, the thieves, the killers, like people who were telling lies and just falsely accusing people, like, Jesus was out there with these people, and he was not even acting any different. He knew who he was. He knew the regalness and the the, the body of godliness that he carried within him, but he didn't act any different. And like, that's what I want to attain. Like, I need to get there. I need to get like him. Like, that's who I want. I want to be like Jesus. Like, I really do. And I'm excited, because this whole journey that I'm on, it's not for anybody else. It's not for my son. My son is a good motivation, but it's not even for him. It's for myself, because at the end of the day, I need to be able to say, God, I did this, and I did it in your name. And not only I did it in your name, God, I did it with fervor, and I did it with steadfastness, and I did it because I wanted to, and I did it and I tried. God, I may fail sometimes, but God, I owe it to you, and I acknowledge you in every step of the way that I could possibly just make. And I want him to say, "You good and faithful servant. Well done." I just want to hear that. Like, anybody else want to hear that? Who wants to hear "well done"? Well done, Kia, you did good. Like, come on. Like, I want to hear that. That's, I just, I want to hear it. I need to hear it. And it's not even just coming from a form of being rejected, because when you've been rejected your whole life, and to be accepted by the ultimate person who can do anything and all things, to be accepted by that, that's the biggest compliment. I'd rather hear that saying you did good than anybody else in my life. Like, no disrespect to nobody. I love y'all. I don't want to hear from y'all because it don't matter. There's no props to be given to me from y'all. Y'all can do it. You give me my flowers, my roses while I'm living. That's great. When it's time to go, I need to hear that person say, because that's the person that's gonna make or break me. Like, I love y'all. I don't need to hear it from y'all. I need it. I'm focused on him. So like I'm excited just about everything that's happening, and what God is doing. It's not even just because it's me. It's God. It's God, and I'm so excited because he's just been not only doing a work in me, he's doing a work in people around me. Like he's touching these things and these dead things and these things that have just kind of been limp and disabled, and he's just resurrecting it, and he's fixing it, he's putting it back together, and he's molding it. It's so awesome to see him work. And you're like, see him work. How do you see him work? You see him work because the things that were so impossible by anybody else's standard, that could, by like, you naturally see that there physically couldn't be anything to be done in this situation, and to then see it like the next moment. Wait a minute, what happened here? Like, what? To see it, and it's just in your eyes, and you're like, but how? But what? Wait a minute. It's just like these Ripley Believe It or Not. Like, it's Ripley Believe It or Not times infinity with an element of, wait a minute, how did that even happen? You know what I'm saying? So it's really, I'm just, it's like, wow, God. Like my apostle said, it's so amazing. Wow, it's so amazing. Like, it's so amazing. So yeah. And another segment, or not segment, not this one because I'm tired. But another time I'm gonna share how I got to the place that I'm getting to, and I feel like it's time now. It's not time to share that testimony, but there's so many different testimonies, down to where I should have been dead, like numerous of times, but I should have been dead, like at the age of 8. Like the devil was trying to kill me when I was 8 years old. And I remember this, and I can share this one. I remember this because I was at my great aunt's house. I was living with my great aunt because my mom kind of left me there. But she was kind of in transition of moving. And before she moved out with my brother and my sister, or this is probably after, yeah, she moved out actually. So this is right after she moved out with my brother and sister and left me there. And my great aunt was, taking care of me. And I was in the room that I usually sleep in. And there was a TV, there was on the dresser, there was the bed, the twin beds. And I was in there, and the windows over there to my left. And I was sitting there, and I was playing with knitting needles. And you know how sharp knitting needles are. They have little points at the end, but I mean, they're not sharp enough to where they can like puncture a hole in you. Well, lo and behold, one of the knitting needles went through my stomach. Now, when I say it went through my stomach, knitting needle was about this long. I mean, if you can see, this long, meaning about almost 10, 11 inches long, almost the size of a ruler. The knitting needle was about that long. About that much of it went in my stomach. Now, I'm 8 years old. Remind you, I'm 8 years old. And the knitting needle goes through my stomach. Now, my great aunt was in the kitchen. I remember this distinctly. My great aunt was in the kitchen, and I remember the knitting needle going through my stomach, and I remember saying, I'm going to die. Because it went through my stomach, and I know it had to have pierced something because it went through my stomach. And so I remember thinking I was going to die. And I remember hearing, "No, you're not." And I remember, and I don't, it was kind of blurred because I didn't black out. I wasn't scared, but I was scared, but I wasn't scared. It's like a peace, it's like a calm, and something, God had to be there to make me calm because that should have freaked me out. But I couldn't say, I remember distinctly not being able to call out my godmother's name. I'm sorry, my god aunt's name, my great aunt's name, and I couldn't call her name. I was stuck in the room like by myself. I was too scared to scream because I figured I was going to die right there. And so I remember it had to be the Holy Spirit. Pulled it out slowly. Was it me? I don't remember this. I don't remember the part. I just know that the needle came out slow and pulled it out. Like I said, it was about that much of that needle. Like 1/4 of the needle was in me and came out, and I wasn't bleeding. I wasn't bleeding. But I went in to see my great aunt and she patched me up. She put some stuff on it and it healed up. And I never went to the hospital. I never went to a hospital. I never went to the hospital. Wow. Wow. I never went to the hospital. So yeah, wow. Like this, thinking about this all over again. I never went to the hospital, but I still have that scar on my stomach to this day. Um, wow. God's amazing. So yeah, no, God, you're awesome. Just thinking about, and I remember at one time I was trying to get into praise and worship, and I just remembered, and I just started calling out the things that God had done for me, and that the story right there was one of the things that came to me, just randomly. I was like, I remember you helped me pull that needle out, and God, I should have been dead. I should have been dead. Y'all don't understand. I should have died. That needle went through me at 8 years old. Didn't go to the hospital. Couldn't scream nobody's name. Couldn't get help. But I am here by the grace of God because there's a work that has to be done and that He's calling me to do. And I'm going to do it till the day of Jesus Christ's return. I will do it. I'm not going to die. I shall live because that's what the word says. Not only that's what the word says, that's what God told me. And so that's what's going to happen because that's what God said. He ain't going to lie. I'm saying. But I'm sorry. Just I got hyped for a second because it makes me excited, but it makes me angry that the devil will try to trick people's minds. So I claim that right now. Not only just claim it, I stand on that promise. So yeah. God is awesome. And then there was another time I remember when my sister was sick. She was young. We were in the same bedroom that I used to sleep, and this is before she left. She was in the room and she was sick. Like she was sick for no reason sick. And I sat there and I remember praying. And she stopped coughing. And she's like, I feel better. I said, oh, okay. And then she went out and she played. I remember that distinctly. So it's not even that I know God is not just with us. He's with me. And he's just with me. He walks with us when we want to walk with him. So like it's just amazing. So I'm excited. But everything else, I hope you have a great day. That's a car coming in. But I hope everything works out. And I hope everything works out with you and your soul. Sorry, I got distracted, so it just cut my story short. But yeah, I'm just excited about everything. So I just wanted to touch base with everybody. There is another part to this, but I'm going to stop now because think I've said too much. And this video is probably maybe like 40 minutes long. So hopefully we'll talk soon. Bye.